Boom. Just like that, guys. President Trump did what the global elite said was impossible. So while the media obsessed over drama and distractions, President Trump quietly executed a $4 trillion master plan that is now turning the global economy upside down. Welcome back, guys. It's Saturday. Happy Saturday, May 17th, 2025. In just days, he locked in historic deals across the Middle East, guys. These deals across the Middle East are now flooding America with jobs, manufacturing contracts, and investments like we've never seen before. And the fallout? Well, the fallout is freaking devastating, guys. So China just surrendered a massive tariff advantage. The European Union got completely sidelined, and Wall Street, it erupted. So what exactly is in this $4 trillion plan? And more importantly, why are top economists calling this a total global reset? Did you guys hear about the global reset and how President Trump is flipping the script, turning old alliances upside down, while at the same time building new ones that put America first? Well, I'm going to break it all down for you guys today, deal by deal, because these are actually some pretty huge deals. Let's talk about country by country, strategy by strategy, to reveal how President Trump just rewrote the whole global economic playbook and why the elites are panicking right now. So let's go ahead and get into it, okay? So now let's get into how all of this started, right? Because this wasn't just some random string of good luck, guys. President Trump, he's been executing, not just promising. He's been executing a full-blown $4 trillion economic master plan, and it's already reconfiguring global power. So while the legacy media is fixated on the unusual noise, right? Well, Trump quietly blitzed through the Middle East, locking in record-shattering deals, and these are some deals that ended up leaving China and the EU looking like outdated relics. So if we look at the numbers, they're rather staggering. $800 billion from Saudi Arabia, one of the largest investment commitments in U.S. history. And in fact, I think it's going to be closer to $1 trillion just from Saudi Arabia alone, because I believe they just recently upped the ante. $200 billion. There's a $200 billion Boeing deal with Qatar, reshoring aerospace jobs while solidifying defense alliances. Guys, this is huge, right? Then you got another $1.4 trillion from the United Arab Emirates. Yes, that is trillion with a T as in Tom. So these are just the headliners. Then you got dozens of other smaller billion-dollar deals here and there. They're all piling up too. Tech infrastructure, energy partnerships, even AI research funding. So President Trump didn't just shake hands. He rebuilt the global economic map piece by piece. And guess what? None of these individuals, none of these deals involve the European Union. Not one. That's not a coincidence. This is pure strategy. Trump's making it very clear. America first means we get to pick the partners who respect us and bring us real value to the table. Plain and simple. Like, no more begging for deals from these bureaucratic dinosaurs like the EU. No more getting taken for granted by countries who don't respect access to our markets, while at the same time giving us nothing in return. Those days are long gone now. President Trump's done. These Middle East agreements, they're high value, high leverage, and they're directly aligned with American jobs, energy security, innovation. I think that this is probably one of the most boldest shifts we've seen away from the old globalist model. And we're moving toward a new world that's built with mutual strength and strategic alignment. Now, visually, I want you to think about it like this, right? Picture this, right? The old economic order run by European elites and Chinese factories is collapsing like a brittle, overbuilt tower. Meanwhile, Trump's he's laying down the steel beams of a new model, a new modern infrastructure, stronger, faster, made in America. And we're just getting started here. So I'm pretty optimistic. I think things are looking pretty good. Drop me a comment down below. Drop a 47 if you're in support of President Trump's strategies here. And if you haven't already, please take a second and hit the like button for the video. I really appreciate you guys. Well, guys, you're about to find out how China just folded under pressure. They're now slashing tariffs in a very desperate attempt to stay in the game, and why Trump walked away holding all of the leverage. You see, China thought that they were stronger than they actually were, and they tried to call Trump's bluff, and they ended up blinking first. So don't go anywhere, because I want to break down exactly how Trump crushed China. But real quick, if you're turning 65 already, or maybe you're turning 65 soon, drop me a quick comment down below. Maybe you're already on Medicare. Are you feeling overwhelmed yet? Well, don't settle for guesswork. Chapter takes the stress out of Medicare by comparing every single plan available. Yes, all of the different plans that are out there, to make sure you are not overpaying or missing out. Julie from Kansas saved $400 a year. Jamie in Texas saved $600 a year. These are huge numbers, guys. And the cool thing is Chapter's advice is totally free. They treat you like family. How do you go wrong with that, right? You can't. So give our friends over at Chapter a call right now. Their number is 909-563-8279, or you can go to askchapter.org/Ron right now and see how much money you can save. Your plan, your savings, your peace of mind. Who wouldn't want to save some money in today's economy, right? Give our friends at Chapter a call right now. So let's not sugarcoat it, guys. China, they just took a knee. President Trump's high pressure strategy, using these tariffs as both a sword and a shield at the same time. Guys, they forced China into a position of surrender. This is one that they hoped that nobody would notice, but we noticed. So here's what's happening. Over the weekend, in a quiet but high stakes meeting in Switzerland, U.S. officials led by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent sat down face to face with the Chinese vice premier. No fanfare, no media circus, just some old school, hard-nosed negotiation. The result? A tariff reversal so lopsided that you would think that it was fake if it weren't so real. So before the meeting, U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods, 145%. Chinese tariffs on U.S. goods were 125%, right? After the meeting, U.S. tariffs dropped to 30%. China's tariffs slashed to 10%. This is massive. Guys, that's a 115% rollback on both sides. But don't let the numbers trick you into thinking that this was some mutual handshake of equals. No, far from it. So guys, this was China backing down under pressure. Trump didn't give them an inch for free. He made them earn every concession, and they knew that if they didn't bend, they would break. So let's be clear, guys. This wasn't about tariffs. It was about who controls the future of global trade. China entered this meeting hoping to drag it out, delay, play their usual game. But Trump ended up flipping the script. He understood something that the political class never does. You don't negotiate with weakness. You negotiate with leverage. And right now, Trump holds all the cards. China knows that. So while China's economy slows down, while youth unemployment in China skyrockets, while manufacturers look for, new homes outside of Beijing's reach, Trump's America is booming and Beijing is bleeding. Even Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said, "We had very robust discussions. Both sides showed great respect, and we reached an agreement to substantially lower tariffs with a 90-day pause built in for enforcement." Translation? China caved in. Trump won, and now we're just now getting warmed up, which is crazy. It's really crazy where we're going from here, guys. So, let me know if you're optimistic or pessimistic about the future of the U.S. economy. Let me know down below. If you're optimistic, just say that. If you're pessimistic, you can say that as well. Now, some of the old experts who call this a pipe dream, they're suddenly acting like it was inevitable. Funny how that works, right? Well, these are the same people who said, oh, the stock market's going to crash if Trump raises tariffs. The trade war is going to destroy American farmers. Trump is out of his depth. And yet, Wall Street surged. Markets opened higher across the board. Dow, S&P, NASDAQ. Investor confidence roared back. Why did all that happen? Why did it happen? Well, because for the first time in decades, the U.S. is not negotiating from its knees. It's negotiating from its strength. Now, this wasn't just a pause in tariffs. This was a reset of the global pecking order. You see, guys, China was used to getting their way with IP theft, forced tech transfers, and one-sided trade imbalances. Not anymore. That ain't gonna fly. You see, Trump's message to China was pretty simple. You want access to our markets? Then you play fair or you get cut out. That's the America First doctrine in action. But here's the real kicker. While Trump was forcing China to back down, the European Union couldn't even get a seat at the table. Oh my God, dude. It was bad. The EU wasn't even included. They were not consulted. They weren't even relevant. Now, of course, we're going to go ahead and expose just how the EU got completely sidelined while Trump said, hey, look, they're nastier than China, and how their arrogant demands backfired spectacularly. So let's be brutally honest here. The EU, the European Union, did not get left out. They got played. So while Trump was racking up multi-trillion-dollar deals in the Middle East, while China was forced to concede and lower tariffs just to stay in the game, the European Union didn't even make it to the field. And that, my friends, was not an accident. This was a deliberate humiliation delivered by President Trump. Now, let's rewind for a moment, right? Now, you guys remember, this is not Trump's first rodeo with the EU. For years, he warned that Europe has been treating America like a doormat, blocking U.S. imports, blocking U.S. exports through hidden regulations, maintaining these lopsided trade deficits, taking American protection for granted. Meanwhile, they're contributing next to nothing to their own defense. Well, when Trump tried to negotiate, they dragged their feet. They made all sorts of unreasonable demands. They acted as if he put it, guess what, guys? They acted as he put it. He said they're nastier than China. Now, think about that for a second. The European Union, our so-called allies, were tougher to deal with than communist China. That's pretty jacked up. You see how bad this is, right? This is how far gone they are. And we've been just getting pimped out left and right. It's crazy. All these different countries. Enemies. And I think this is why Trump said, hey, sometimes some of the worst offenders were our own allies, not even our adversaries. So Trump simply stopped shopping. He stopped trying, right? He realized that working with EU was like trying to do business with a DMV. Y'all, anybody ever been in a DMV lately? Oh my God, painful. If you ever have to renew your driver's license in person, oh my God, just stab me in the eye with some toothpicks or something. He did his business elsewhere instead. And all of a sudden, Saudi Arabia came through big time, dropping $800 billion. The UAE, they pledged $1.4 trillion. Qatar signed a $200 billion deal, right? And not one single agreement even involved the EU. So whenever the EU comes around, they'll probably come groveling on their knees. That'll just be extra money in the bucket. But instead, the EU, they just kept posturing, talking down to America like it was 2003 or something. Meanwhile, their own economies slowly rotted. And you don't have to take my word for it, guys. Just listen to Hal Lambert. Hal Lambert is the founder of Point Bridge Capital and the MAGA ETF. So he said Trump is reshaping global alliances. Europe is asleep at the wheel. The Middle East is young, wealthy, and dynamic. Europe, aging, broke, full of red tape. Not a place to visit, not a place to do business. Ooh, ouch. That was brutal, wasn't it? Has anyone ever visited Europe? Anyone ever visit Paris or Italy or anything like that, let me know in the comments down below if you've ever visited, or drop me a 1 if you visited Europe before. Drop a 2 if you would like to visit Europe. I'd love to hear from you guys. So maybe I should go over there and film from that location and bring you some updates that mainstream media doesn't share about what's really going on over there. Let me know if I should do that, guys. But let's be clear. The European Union thought it would, be able to play hardball with Trump. They ended up showing up to the negotiation table like some arrogant bureaucrats with a stack of basically rule books. Trump, he was like, man, forget all that noise. He walked right past the table, boarded Air Force One, and closed $4 trillion in deals without them. That's how you shut somebody down. He shut down the European haters. And let's be honest, the EU is no longer essential to America's economic future. They're aging, over-regulated, ideologically disconnected from the future of global commerce, guys. We don't need them. And Trump just proved that we don't. They're not driving innovation. They're not leading in energy. They're not leading in AI or manufacturing. They're not forming new strategic alliances. In the meantime, they're burdening themselves with open borders and unsustainable welfare programs and a crushing level of entitlement. This is why Trump's pivot matters so much. Instead of fighting for crumbs at Europe's table, he's now building his own global dinner party with nations that actually want to partner with America and not exploit us. That is why we need to talk about this next piece here. Basically, as Trump just shout out the EU and shut them down and forced China to kneel, the stock market exploded in response, sending a message heard around the world. Now, stick around, guys, because I'm about to show you guys why Wall Street is erupting and why investors now see Trump's vision as the future. So let's quickly connect the dots. After all the backroom deals, the tariff reversals, and the strategic power plays, what happened next? Stock market erupted. We're not talking about a little blip, a little bump in the market. We're talking about a full-blown surge, a vote of confidence from the global economy itself. The Dow Jones opened strong, literally leaping hundreds of points on the news of the China deal. The S&P 500 climbed, fueled by optimism around rebalanced trade flows. And of course, the NASDAQ followed suit, boosted by the tech sector confidence and fresh investment signals from the Middle East. This was not a coincidence that this happened. Wall Street responded to the major truths that are coming. They're literally becoming undeniable all at the same time. So the first truth, I think, is the tariff war is working. For years, the media was screaming about how... Comment down below, do y'all remember this? The media was screaming about how Trump's tariffs are going to destroy the economy. They were calling it reckless. They warned of a collapse. They called it a trade war America could not win. Well, Trump just secured a 115% mutual tariff rollback with China. And the market celebrated it because real investors saw through the fear tactics. They realized, hey, wait a minute. Trump's strategy actually worked. China's bending. Supply chains are stabilizing. We're back in control. These $4 trillion in Middle Eastern deals are not just press releases, guys. These deals translate into defense contracts for American companies, infrastructure projects funded with U.S. partnerships, aerospace jobs, manufacturing demand, energy investments, technology transfers they are literally bringing capital and opportunity into the United States on U.S. soil. Investors don't care what the pundits say. They follow the money. And the money is coming here to U.S. Now, of course, the third truth, the globalist model is dying and America's starting to take the lead again. You see, markets don't just respond to numbers. They respond to narratives. And the story that they're hearing now is this. The old guard, China's dominance, the EU's bureaucracy, the globalist free-for-all, That era is over. It's done. There's a new sheriff in town, and he's building a new order centered around American strength. Wall Street loves stability. And, love him or hate him, Trump's providing clarity. He's showing who we do business with, how we do it, how we stand again. Investors, they finally have a vision that favors American producers, American workers, and American rules. And what did Trump say just days before all of this happened? You better go out and buy stock now. This country is about to go up like a rocket ship. Trump wasn't kidding. This market isn't reacting to spin, it's reacting to strategic victory. By the way, if you want to join us over in our Liberty Pursuit Network, we are literally talking strategy. I'll leave a link for you guys in the description down below. If you want to join our private community, we're talking about the stock market, passive income ideas, businesses that can be started from home where you can literally replace your salary. We're doing some powerful things over there. So join us over in the Liberty Pursuit Network. There is a link in the description down below in this video. So the big question is, what's next? Because if this is just the beginning, if Trump has more deals lined up like this, if China's already backpedaling and the EU has been kicked off the playing field, then what happens when Trump moves to finalize the next wave of global partnerships? Well, guys, this is exactly what we need to talk about right now, because trust me, the story is not over. There are dozens of trade deals in the hopper, and the world is waking up to a hard truth right now. The future of global economics now runs through Trump's White House. Now, stick with me, because I'm about to break down what comes next, what's being negotiated right now, and why Trump's 10% tariff strategy might change the game forever. So, after all of this, what comes next, right? Was the China deal done? Is the China deal a one-time win? Is this a one-hit wonder? Was the $4 trillion Middle East wave just a lucky break? Not even close. Because according to Kevin Hassett, one of Trump's top economic advisors, there are at least maybe 24 more trade deals that are already being finalized. Now, think about that for a second. 24 more deals? Not ideas, not maybes, not in negotiation. Deals that are this close to being signed. Each one that is custom built to advance Trump's America First agenda. Who's out here buying stocks? Let me know what stocks you're buying right now in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. Are you buying stocks? You're buying ETFs? Let me know what you're buying. Some VOO, some Microsoft, some Nvidia, some Apple stock, Amazon. Let me know what you're buying, guys. I want to hear from you. By the way, if you want to join us over in our Liberty Pursuit Network, passive income, investment opportunities, man, we are about to make America great again. It's time to live well, folks. Guys, the way Trump is setting these folks up, they're not just copy and paste treaties from the old globalist playbook. These are bespoke economic agreements, each one's tailored to the country involved, designed to fix the country's specific trade imbalance with the United States. You see, guys, under President Trump, we don't hand out open access to American markets anymore. We make deals that protect American jobs, reward countries that play fair, and punish those that try to exploit us. So here's something else, actually. So Trump, he already locked in a floor for all the future deals. That floor is a 10% minimum tariff. That's just the way it is. That means no future deal will go below that threshold. So this is the new cost of entry if you want to do business with the United States. And I think it's brilliant. Comment down below if you think that's pretty smart. So if your country has a massive trade surplus with us, a history of bad faith negotiations, a bureaucratic bloat like the European Union, well, you can expect far higher tariffs. Look, it's not personal. This is power. This is leverage. This is probably one of the greatest things that Trump has done so far. So Trump is finally using America's greatest weapon, which is our economic dominance, not to serve the world, but to protect our own people first. So here's the quiet part nobody wants to... This is the quiet part that's really just not so quiet anymore. Let's just say that the countries are lining up. We're watching China bow. They're watching the EU get humiliated. We're watching the stock market go vertical. And they're realizing one thing. If you're not a part of Trump's new economic world order, you're going to get left behind. Meanwhile, Europe, well, they're still sitting there tangled up in the red tape, waiting for somebody to call them back to the table. Spoiler alert, Trump's not calling. He doesn't need them. He's building new alliances across Asia, Africa, South America, and even the Middle East with countries that respect American strength, that want to partner, not pillage, and are willing to play by America's rules. So, here's where we land. We started as a single trade mission. It has now turned into a full-blown global realignment. This is one that's rapidly replacing the old world of globalism with a new world of national prosperity and targeted power. Trump's not making deals. Well, he is making deals. He's not just making deals. He's making history. Quiet as it's kept. That $4 trillion deal that we've seen so far, that's just Act 1. So the real question is this, guys. Are you ready for what's next? Are you positioning your family for the great wealth transfer that is inevitably coming our way? And if you're not, why aren't you in our Liberty Pursuit Network? Because we're getting ready for the big one. Because we're going to be tracking every single one of these upcoming trade deals, every market reaction, every foreign leader who bends or breaks under the weight of President Trump's first doctrine. Because we're going to be so wrapped up in this thing. It's going to get really exciting, guys. So if you want to stay ahead of the curve, like this video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment down below and let me know what you think the next big deal will be. Don't forget to join us over in Liberty Pursuit Network if you want to take it to the next level. And don't forget, guys, the global elites may hate it, but the American people are finally winning again. So anyway, appreciate you guys watching. As always, stay sharp, stay safe, stay tuned. Oh, and don't forget to see how much money you can save with our friends over at Chapter. If you're 65 or older, your parents are, your grandparents, we got to look out for our parents. We got to look out for our grandparents. If you're almost 65, give our friends at Chapter a call, totally free. It just takes a second. Matter of fact, just hit them up on the web, even easier. Hit them up on the web and just say, hey, is there any way you could save me some money on Medicare? Simple as that. I don't know how much you might save, but the average senior is saving $1,100 a year. So if that means anything to you, hit them up on the website. We'll see you guys on the next video. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below.